Welcome. It's January 31st, 2023. I'm Joe Weston, and we're here once again for our weekly online global practice for reviving the global heart. And for those of you who know, who come on a regular basis, come every once in a while, we meet and gather every week to be in community, to align with people who share a common vision for a world where lasting peace is possible, and not just some kind of lofty idea of it, but to see what we can do to contribute to bring about practical ways to inspire that, to steward that, and to bring that about. And in that, we cultivate within ourselves resilience and fierce compassion in the practice that we do on a regular basis. And as you know, every once in a while, we'll have a guest come on, or I shouldn't call Silas a guest, but I'll ask someone to speak and share more about their world. And we started a few weeks ago, I talked about this concept of creative social activism. And that seemed to inspire a lot of you. And I've worked with that with a lot of clients about this idea. How can you turn the things that you love to do into an act of social change? And for me,
very odd.
Silas is someone.
I love you dearly, but not.
Silas is someone who we've already started with some of the people who are here, who just one big love fest of Silas Musick, who came into my life after doing some work in Colorado with doing some trainings there through Kevin Fong and the Kahakule Institute. And Silas has been involved. He's assisted me in workshops and been involved with a lot of the work that we're doing, has been part of the amazing group of people who have been inspiration for this new book I'm writing called Fierce Civility. And when I think of Silas, my heart sings. If there's anybody else in here who feels the same way, raise your hand. And I mean that truly. And the way he has designed his life, literally from in the most powerful ways, in all ways that many of us couldn't even imagine, has designed his life in a way that's in alignment with who he truly feels he is. And according to his highest values. And the latest adventure he has is now he's become this farm person who has this amazing relationship with the animals and with the land. And I thought, in terms of this idea of creative social activism, of turning your not only your passions but yourself into an act of activism, I thought it would be great to have Silas come and speak a little bit about what's on his heart these days and what his feelings are on reviving the global heart. So Silas, good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Thank you. My heart is so full. It is hard to contain it in my chest. Thank you. So many dear hearts and faces and energy. I'm on farmer time these days, and so I was up early. I went out in my boxers with a puffy jacket and boots up to my knees and threw hay. And when you're in your boxers, you move really fast. And it's dark, no one saw me, it was fine. And then I came back in and my wife said, you need to take notes because you ramble. And I started taking notes and I was like, this is a poem. And so I wrote a poem and I'm gonna share it with you. And then I'll go from there. It's called Sleep. When I was young, I fell in love with the wrong person. So the other humans used love as a weapon. I was stunned. You can't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I wasn't ready for the feelings that followed me. Herds are for belonging. Leaders, supporters, each has a role. I sold Raindrop for $300. That was gas to Colorado. I didn't know Hurt was hitched to my car, tagging along. The whole 36 hours I couldn't sleep. When I arrived, it was unpacked with me. I bashed against walls, I thrashed, I bled. I even decided it was enough, and laid down my head to take my final sleep. But just like a mama horse to her newborn foal, you nudged me to my feet so we could flee to safety. Safety has been the longest journey. Bowie came during the pandemic. He made me really question my strength. He thrashed and bled, a true reflection of me. He didn't know how to do life without his mother. A new herd didn't feel possible. Not belonging wasn't bearable. Everyone knows horses can't be alone. Herds protect, shelter, warm, and warn. The herd is honest, sometimes harshly honest. The herd is always present. Each member is present. You sleep, I'll keep watch. Wake me when you need to sleep. It is in spite of myself that my life is aligned with who I am. But it is, and that feels abundant, and gratitude in every direction. And like all of us who are human, the voices and the dark clouds are always lurking, and I often doubt the goodness and the abundance around me. And my wife, we talk about this all the time, because I'm like, I'm waiting for something to go wrong, honey. She's like, it's because you don't feel deserving. I sat in a crowd, Abby, I think you might have even been here, in Chicago for a huge conference, and a speaker named John Powell. He's done a lot of research around racism and systematic racism. I was in a crowd of 4,000 people, and he said, if you can't find belonging in your family, then the work of showing up for community is so hard. And I sobbed and I sobbed, and I was like, that's my problem. And so I have devoted myself to finding belonging, and I have elbowed my way into spaces, and I try to show up, and as a new to this guy thing, as a transgender man, a white man in the world, I've also tried to lean in and step back and pay attention to the space which I take up, and I am this is. I cannot say that I am where I am without the connection that I've had with Joe in these circles. And a couple of the things, we did some mentoring and coaching together. And it took a month or so where I identified my core values. And it started with a long list, and then the list shortened and shortened and shortened. And by the end, I claimed a role for myself. And my role in this world, in this life, is playful guardian. And it's true. And it's who I am with my animals. It's who I am with my children. It's who I am with my coworkers and my friends. And it resonated. And I had to dig through like a mountain of values that I all thought were really, really important to get to that one, right? And then to be able to trust my own power. Yesterday, I listened to a transgender musician, Quinn Christopherson, who has a song about the transition from female to male. And in the song, it's not a direct quote, but he says, I'm used to drawing the short stick, and now I have this voice and I have this power, and I don't like it. And as a transgender man, that resonated with me a lot. And it's been respectful conversations where I learned that power doesn't have to be used for harm. And I practiced my power no on 1,000-pound horses who would otherwise like to push me out of the way. And going back to this idea in the poem of the herd, like there's actually a lot of mutual respect, and power can be shared and move between us without there having to be control or oppression or dominance. So that's what I'm going to share, and thank you for the invite and for the faces. This is like so special. Love you all.
Thank you, Silas. So let me ask you a question. I'm just curious, in terms of your relationship, what you've been observing and how you're working with the animal. I mean, you're a good student, or you're not a good student. You study human behavior well. What have you learned about now being with animals, and maybe a comparison to us poor humans? What have you?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of things. So, animals are always present. They're always in the moment. They aren't terribly concerned about what just happened, and they're not worried about what's about to happen. And that presence, and it's a nervous system thing. And Joe will say this, like dogs will shake, they like loosen their nervous system, and then they're reset and ready to go. And I think that presence, that's why when we get home from work, they're always excited to see us, because all they care about is that moment and that energy that's there. Also, our animals, we have a lot of different species. I have a few of them in the picture here. And as long as they feel safe and have plenty, like full bellies and shelter, they like take care of each other across species. I have pictures where I have a cat, a dog, a couple of birds, a pig, all eating together on the porch. And so like, I think that when you can create, we call it farmony, which is not an original term, but it works. When you can create that, there's actually quite a complex social system across the animals. And we've made a commitment that none of our farm animals are food. It's an expensive commitment, but they are all helpful and useful. And I call them my emotional support farm. They and I am the most emotionally well I've ever been in my life. So it took 28 emotional support animals, but still, everybody has a number. It's
28's your number. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that the message? Get as many animals as you need to feel like you belong and safe.
Each one of you gauge your needs.
I love
it's
what
a lot
you
of mouths to feed and a lot of vet bills, though.
It's an investment.
It is.
I love what you just said, because you said basically the almost the secret to healthy living or well-being is feel safe, a full belly, and shelter.
Mm.
And that's similar to for those of you who know the metta prayer, the Buddhist metta prayer, may you be happy, may you be safe, right? It's very similar to that. And on some level, it can be that simple, right? It can really be that simple. And human beings love to complicate it.
Yeah.
Well, anything else before we do our practice? What does reviving the global heart mean to you?
This group in this space has shown me that none of us have to do it the same way. We just have to find our way. And I think I've spent so much time trying to copy and emulate others that the moment I was okay with just letting my version be the contribution, then that's where the ripple effect. And I've watched it all around the circle and in other settings. So maybe we don't force it so much, we just let it, but we do act, like we also don't just set on whatever our contribution to global peace is.
Thank you. Beautiful, wise words from a beautiful, wise man. All right, well, let's take that into our practice. Many of you who go on a regular basis know the practice. For those of you that for the first time, I can explain that. In this practice, there's no right way to do it or wrong way to do it. It's about finding your way. And the purpose of this is, as we do this on a regular basis, is in community for each and every one of us to cultivate a deeper level of resilience to meet the challenges of our times with grace and skill, and fierce compassion, to the idea of being able to hold more beings in our heart, to increase our scope of influence, if that's something we are interested in. So sitting in a way where your spine is straight without being rigid. So maybe not leaning against the back of a chair, but moving towards the front of the chair, creating space between your vertebrae. We call power sit, coming into alignment, even elongating from the back of your neck, so you tuck your chin in a little bit. Relax your jaw, relax your belly, your shoulders. Bring your attention to your core and your lower belly, which is approximately the width of 3 fingers below your navel, or a third of the way into the body. So you put your fingers together like this, place your index finger over your navel, where your pinky resides. That's approximately the width of 3 fingers below your navel. From that point, bring your attention now inside of your body, about a third of the way into the body, focusing completely on that spot. Center of gravity, impulse, gut wisdom, personal power, awareness. From your center, become aware of your contact points, the parts of your body that are connected to what you're sitting on and the ground. Feeling the sensations, the information you're gathering from those parts of the body. Feeling the stability under you. Doing what animals, I'm assuming, would do just normally on a moment-to-moment basis, is they're constantly feeling into the stability under them. Trusting that Mother Earth has them. And as many of you know, I always say, Mother Earth does not discriminate. She holds each one of us equally. Let yourself be held. Gratitude for Mother Earth, who supports, who provides. Asking permission to tap into her wisdom and her energy. And from your center, become aware of your physical body, as we use this practice to come more into the present moment. Doing what the animals do naturally, we have to work at it. Starting with the physical body. Just notice the language, the vocabulary of the body, how it's speaking to you. And from your center, become aware of your emotional body. What emotions are you present to, without judgment? Simply doing an inventory of which ones seem most on the surface or present for you at this moment. Giving them permission to flow. From your center, become aware of your thoughts, your mental body, what the quality of your thoughts, the speed of your thoughts. Maintaining a connection with your core, your personal power, and your lower belly. Now bringing awareness to the middle of your chest, where your heart power resides. Connection, compassion, dignity. And from your center and from your heart, become aware of that part of you which has connection to something larger than yourself. And from that part of you, with a connection with your heart and with your personal power, become aware of, in this moment, what your connection is to something larger than yourself. It could be something spiritual. It could be all humanity, all beings. giving yourself permission to receive whatever is to be received in this moment from that connection to something larger than yourself. Allowing this, what we've cultivated so far, to expand out through your personal space, out towards the edges of your personal boundaries, from your heart and your center, with an awareness of your personal boundaries and your personal space in all directions. And with this awareness of self in this present moment, from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Maintaining this connection with yourself. And now from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of your personal surroundings. Keeping your eyes closed, simply notice in all directions, placing yourself in a context. The circumstances that bring you to this acupuncture point on the planet at this moment. An honoring of all the tribes or generations before you who have stewarded this land in a sacred way. And with this awareness of self and surroundings from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in. Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. And expanding our heart capacity and awareness and presence with an awareness of self and surroundings from your center, from your heart. Become aware of those in this meditation circle, those joining in this practice, various parts of North America, Central America, Europe, maybe other parts of the world. And your capacity at this moment to expand your sense of self, your sense of heart, your sense of personal power to connect with those in this meditation circle. Opening to this investigation of who are you in this community and this group in this moment, and who is this community to you. Sense of belonging, the investigation of the sense of belonging. Maybe activating in your heart that idea of inviting others into a deeper sense of belonging. And with this awareness of self, surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in. Now imagine expanding our hearts to the point of, with what we've cultivated so far, with self, surroundings, this amazing group of beings. We can expand that out to benefit all human beings. So from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of all human beings, first beginning with those human beings you would label loved ones. Be an adjective, be creative. Who arises in your heart? What faces do you see, or groups of people? How many loved ones can you hold in your heart at this moment? Friends, family, colleagues, teachers, students. And imagine deep from in your heart, just opening to the possibility that you create, just simply who you are, you create a sense of safety for these people. Refuge, guardianship, just by simply being. And just see on their faces or in their hearts or in their bodies how that influences them. And from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of those human beings you would label stranger. Who arises in your heart? What faces do you see? How many can you hold? There may be billions of them. How many can you hold in your heart in this moment? Maybe people you see in the supermarket, on the news, a neighbor even. Just that same desire or passion in your heart. How can I be a place of refuge for these people? Inspiring within your core and your heart that creativity of how can I create more belonging for you, for all of you? How can I inspire in you a deeper level of safety, deserving, simply by being me? And from your center and from your heart, become aware of those human beings you would label adversary. Who arises in your heart? What faces do you see? How many do you see? Does that influence your level of open-heartedness or level of safety? And as you also connect with them from a place of safety, from your center and from your heart, mustering up that same desire. How can I create, even for these people, a place of safety, refuge? What would it take in a very fun and creative way, playful way even, to create harmony with even these beings? Notice the impact it has on them, impact on strangers, impact on loved ones. And as you engage now with all human beings, just imagine each one of them, every human being, igniting within their hearts that sense of a commitment and see clearly that belonging is not just for themselves, but it's a commitment to create that for others. We all walk the world as a place of refuge for one another. And as a human species, imagine us all, that our true purpose on this planet is to be stewards and guardians for all other creatures. And we finally wake up and get that. And that each human being in harmony says to all other creatures, may you be safe. May you have full bellies. May you have shelter. And in that moment, all creatures having deepest of gratitude for Mother Earth. So allowing Mother Earth, all creatures, all human beings to flow into that big, beautiful heart of yours, which has been expanded and can actually hold all of it. As you bring your awareness back to those in this meditation circle, sharing this moment, this vision, this hope for our future with one another in solidarity and alignment. Allowing those in this meditation circle to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Allowing this experience to flow into your surroundings as a way to anchor it into this moment for you. Allowing your surroundings to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to yourself. And taking a moment now to connect with yourself. And in the most playful way, stating clearly, I am a refuge for you, dear one. May you be safe. May you have a full belly. May you have shelter. You deserve. You are deserving. And see yourself receive that message. Noticing the energy that's been generated from this practice that you've cultivated. Allow that to flow into every cell of your body, igniting every cell of your body. Flowing into your organs to nurture and rejuvenate and heal. Flowing into your nervous system as a way to anchor this and remember this experience and practice. Lastly, flowing into your core as like a battery to charge your battery, fill up your battery. Be able to walk the world with full vitality and resilience. And as a way to close this practice, let's take a final breath in. Deep, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. When you're ready, very slowly open your eyes, look around your space, shake your body, stretch your body, shake it off like the animals. All right, so we started with our motivation, and beautiful poem and beautiful words. Continue to allow the emotions to flow, the energy to flow. Let that move through you. We did our practice, and now we have a chance to reflect. Is there anyone who would like to unmute and share what inspired you, or what your reactions were to what Silas shared in the practice? Joe Gammo, good to see you.
I would like to share. I loved your poem, Silas, and I love the word harmony. I'd like to share that with a few others, not in this group. I'm actually a member of a poetry sangha, and you're welcome to join. Everybody's welcome to join. It's on Zoom. I loved how you talked about belonging, because there's a big difference between belonging and fitting in. And that was a reminder of that. Thank you.
You want to unmute, Silas? Just stay on mute.
Thank you.
I was sorry to miss the poem, Silas, as I signed on late. But even in that period that I listened to you and saw you, I could just feel the freedom in you. It's so beautiful with your farm, your harmony, your animals. Just, it brought me a lot of joy.
Oh, it's so good to see you. Yeah.
Lessons.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's interesting when you spoke about Joe in the practice with adversaries. I could feel the lack of feeling of safety that creates us striking out at one another. And I was feeling into, Silas, your piece of the pig and the cats and the dog and everyone eating together. And what's necessary in that is that all those animals can be together instead of sectioned off in their different fields or different, and then I think of all the borders and all the divisions that we have. And it's no wonder when we can't be amongst one another that we can't understand one another and we can't then feel and connect. So it's a riddle. I don't know how we do it to unboundarize or how to take those separations away, but I think that there's something about that creates understanding and compassion. And so anyway, and I love you dearly. I'm so psyched. I had no idea that you were speaking today. What a freaking delight. Yay. Thank you.
This is too good. I feel like I'm cheating or something. This is so good.
That image of the various animals eating together really resonated with me too. And in the meditation just now, that idea got applied to the human species. And there I was on the porch with these different humans of all walks of life, some that maybe I would identify as homophobic, people that might hate me or want to hurt me, or people from different backgrounds and different experiences. And there we all were, eating, standing on the porch, eating delicious food and watching the sunset in peace. And what occurred to me was, oh, this is heaven. Arrived at heaven.
Thank you, Will. Wow.
Silas, I'm struck. I think it's been about 4 years that I've known you, and how your presence now feels so much more comfortable in your own being. And maybe you could attribute that to the move or the animals or the decisions you've made. It doesn't really matter to me that you've embraced your animal-like nature. And that can be well, yesterday I saw an ironclad beetle on the ground. It's about 3.5 inches long, and it moves very slow, and it has a big piece of armor. And I was watching that, and I was struck by, that is an animal. I mean, we forget that insects are animals, and that's an animal doing its animal thing. And that's the iguanas and the horse and the cows. They just all do their horse things and their cow things, and Silas is doing his Silas thing.
Todd, you were in the virtual space when we did a respectful confrontation weekend, and I visited my horse at the end of the day, and we were open-hearted as much as a human can be, and my horse Bowie reflected that to me, and he like walked up to me, and he was like,
I remember that.
like a rambunctious teenager at the time, and he walked up to, he still is, he walked to me and just placed his head against my chest and just stood there for and I remember sharing, because they are very reflective, and when I'm a mess, they will give it back to me, and when I am peaceful and open-hearted, they will also show me that. Yeah, thank you.
Abby?
Hey, first to this group, this is my first time here. Y'all feel like home. It just, yeah, I just felt at home through all of it. So thank you for creating this space that feels so natural and so welcoming, to someone who just took a chance and clicked a button to see a friend today. Silas, my friend, so many journeys we've been on. And I was reading John Powell this morning. So across the miles and plants and harmony that we've created and been in, like, we're still connected there, and that feels really, really beautiful. And I'm sitting today just along with deep gratitude, but reflecting, especially during the meditation part around, I talk so much around building a longer table. And I think sometimes I prevent people from coming onto the porch myself. And so really doing some thinking around like, okay, well, you're talking about it, you're bringing people together, you want to open this table up and feed more people and sit with the trees, but like, what am I actually doing? How open is my heart to really create an environment where people feel welcome even at my table? So yeah, just more reflection to do. Thank you so much for this space. And Silas, I love you.
I love you. I can't imagine anyone who wouldn't want to be at your table.
Me either. Abby, and thank you for your wisdom and your courage to share that. It's beautiful. Thank you. Are you a good cook?
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
good. All right, good.
I mean, it's weird to answer that myself, but I did see affirmation from Silas too.
Okay, good. That helps. Okay. Silas, do you have any last words?
Just one thing. My family and I went to Vietnam over the holidays, and we were in the mountains of North Vietnam in like a farming village, and we had a local tour guide, Swa, who took us through rice fields, and and both of our children got to experience it. And the women wear these beautiful headscarves, but like it's a very gendered culture. And I was a man and I should not wear this, but I brought it home with me. and I chose to put it on this morning because it felt so it felt so representative of like the world and all the ways in which we are showing up in this life. And I will honor and respect their gender, but I will also wear this colorful scarf. So I'm really grateful for being able to share.
Thank you, Silas. It's a gift to have you come. It's a gift to have you do this. Keep up that idea of creative social activism. How can you turn the things that you love to do or who you are into an act of service or support or whatever? A couple of announcements before we do our dedication. Well, next week, Tori and Shelley, can you raise your hands or wave your hands? They're going to be leading the session. I'm going to be doing a training. It won't be here, and I'm excited to have Tori and Shelley step in for me and to do that. So, and if you can, please come back because to support them in that process. And I know that they're really amazing at holding space at this practice and in creating great dialogue and community. So be sure to show up. This is a big one. No, March 9th is the date for the pre-order for the Fierce Civility book. Oh my God. March 9th is the date. And so you're going to have to, and I'll be saying more about that. You're going to have to buy 4.5 million copies on that day, give or take a few million, and tell everybody about it. And we'll be giving you information about that. It's very exciting what's unfolding. So keep that as a date. And as always, we're here every week. So keep coming back. It's really lovely to see faces that we haven't seen for a while. Tell people about this. We're really establishing a sweet, strong, open-hearted core of people. And it's just lovely to see how this is unfolding and growing. And Silas is an example of one of them. So that's one way to look at it. So thank you to Abby and Alexandria and Kelly for your first time here. And hopefully we'll see you again. And let's just dedicate this. So the energies that we've created with this, I would say it's a statistical miracle that these 21 or so people come together of the 8 billion people on the planet. And what we have generated ripples out towards the all being on the planet itself. We've already made an impact that's open-hearted and powerful. And in that, we direct that to those who are struggling with feeling like they belong, who feel alone and isolated. May this practice help them find their path towards a community, towards a herd, or within themselves, finding their sense of deserving and belonging within themselves. And may this practice create the benefits that every creature on this planet have enough fresh water to drink and food to eat, and that all world governments and world leaders suddenly wake up with an inspiration to govern from a place of compassion as opposed to fear and greed. So have a wonderful time. So Gina popped in. Gina, I'd like you to meet Silas. Gina is the one in the Nashville area. Gina is my amazing editor and amazing being, one of the most creative people I've met. And so it's nice to see you here, Gina. You're a little late, but it's nice to see you here.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. But I would love for you to connect you with Silas. I think it might